next part that we are going to bring in our discussion is, now that we have understood what is the meaning of tax, let me tell you that tax, not just in India but worldwide, tax is always divided into two parts. You know the names of these parts. We have already discussed, because these are not just names, these are our subjects also as a part of our CA syllabus. We have a tax called direct tax, which I am covering for you. 60 marks in intermediate, 100 marks in CA final. And we have a tax called indirect tax. Tax is cost of living in a society, revenue to the government for all the facilities provided by the government. We have understood the meaning of that. And this tax is of two categories, direct tax and indirect tax. To make the class interactive, I can always ask you, do you know something about direct tax? Do you know what is indirect tax? Ultimately, I am only going to give you the answers, but I want a little increase in participation of students in class, which is why I want you to, because especially after food goes in the stomach, no, brain function abilities are half, maybe less than half. So to make sure that you are with me physically and mentally, yes please, anyone? What is direct tax? What is indirect tax? Thank you. Tamanna's friend. Wait. All we heard was that, what was it, the ambulance or the fire brigade? Whatever it was, that was loud. That is the thing that was audible more than you. The only thing that I could hear was, direct tax is collected on the income of the person. After that one line which you spoke, we could only hear it was the ambulance, right? Okay. It happens in online lectures and we have to be okay with it. If we are taught to live with COVID, we have to live with this also. It is so okay. What I appreciate, truly appreciate, is what makes me happy is at least you participated for this much. I could hear you saying direct tax is a tax on a particular person's income, but again, income tax is an example of direct tax. So let's do one thing. Let's first discuss meaning of direct tax and indirect tax, and then once we understand the meaning, let us discuss examples. What she has already given me is one example of direct tax, that is income tax. But what is direct tax and indirect tax? Whenever tax is levied on a particular person, we call it direct tax. You, the person who has earned income, has to pay income tax. On an assessee, an individual assessee, when tax is levied, that is called direct tax. Let me compare this and then explain. When tax is levied on goods or services, then it is indirect tax. And why we call it indirect? I'll explain that also with the help of some examples. Direct tax, let's take that example only, which is applicable to all of us and which is our syllabus for 160 marks. That one law income tax, we have to study for 160 marks. 60 in inter and 100 in final. Income tax is a tax on a particular person. Why do we call it direct tax? Please pay attention. Now listen to my explanation. Okay, one by one, I'll take some names. Supposingly I, Professor Siddharth Surana, Chartered Accountant, I earn income. Is that my income? From that income that I have earned, I have to pay tax to the government and it will go from my own pocket. Once I pay that tax to the government, how to calculate tax, that we will learn. That's what we have to learn in the chapter. But whatever we pay, supposingly I earn 100 rupees and from that government is taking 30 rupees in the form of tax. So that 30 that I have paid to the government, hello? Supposingly I earn 100 rupees income, and on that income of 100 rupees, I pay tax of 30 rupees to the government. That tax will go from my own pocket. Nobody is going to compensate me. I am not going to get that tax back from anywhere. And I, the person who has earned income, has to pay tax. The person who has the income will pay income tax. So I earn income, I pay tax on that income. I have a student called Ayushi. She earns income. So on her income, she will pay tax. Nobody is going to compensate. There is a student called Naresh. If he earns income, he will pay tax. Nobody is going to compensate you for that tax. My wife earns income. She is also a chartered accountant and a company secretary. She earns income. She pays tax on her income. My brother is an engineer and MBA. He works for Amazon. He earns income. He pays tax. My neighbor's wife, she earns income. She pays tax. I don't pay her tax at all. No matter how much love and affection we share with each other, how cordial we are with each other, how much we care for each other, but we pay taxes on our respective incomes. I will never pay tax on behalf of my neighbor's wife. If she has paid, I will not compensate. So any tax which is taken from a particular person from his own pocket, and in return you will never get any compensation for this. It is gone. That money never belongs to you. It is gone, finished. That money has gone away from your life. That is called direct tax. Once this money goes away from your life, you are never going to get this money back. You have to forget this money forever. That is direct tax. And example is income tax. So whenever you earn income, listen to my line carefully. It will help you in learning the subject also. You can record it or write it somewhere. Whenever you earn income, only a portion of your income belongs to you. Or let me put it in another way. One part of your income always belongs to the government. That's your income tax which you have to pay. Your income will never fully belong to you. If you earn 100 rupees, example, a portion of 100 rupees will belong to the government. I'll say it properly for those who want to write. One part of your income will always belong to the government. One part or portion, you can also write. One portion of your income will always belong to the government. Means it will go away. You will never get it back. That's direct tax. And the example is income tax. Earlier in India, there was something called wealth tax, but it is now removed. Please pay attention. Okay, this is general knowledge that I am giving you, not necessary to be written down. In case you think it is necessary to write, I am going to speak slowly only. So you may write it. For example, there was wealth tax which is removed. If you get a gift, many years ago in India, there was gift tax. Pay attention. Now, gift has been included in the definition of income as per income tax. So you earn salary, or you earn profits in business, or you earn rent. Likewise, if you earn any gift, it is a part of your income under income tax only. So we don't need a separate gift tax. It will be covered in income tax only. You have to pay tax on that. Okay. Now, if you want one more example of direct tax, just for knowledge purposes, otherwise income tax is good enough to make you understand the meaning. In India, we have a law called Black Money Act. Black Money Act. It's the short form, just like you say, no, POGA, instead of saying Payment of Gratuity Act. Or we say POBA, instead of saying Payment of Bonus Act. Or we say IPA, Indian Partnership Act. Have you done this in life? ICAI, Indian Contract Act, short forms? Never? No problem. When you start learning law, no, all this you will have to do. Hello? We use short forms for certain laws. Short form like Indian Contract Act, we call ICA, or Indian Partnership Act. We use them. Okay? So, the short form of that law is Black Money Act. BM Act. Black Money Act. The full name is Black Money Undisclosed Foreign Income and Asset and Imposition of Tax Act. That's a big name. I am not teaching you this law. It's not a part of your CA inter portion. In CA final, you all remember the concept of elective paper. International tax is one of the options. You can choose or you can avoid. If you choose international tax, Black Money Act is a part of international tax. It is not in direct or indirect tax. In short, if I have to tell you, what is this? Supposingly an assessee, a person in India, has assets outside India. Is it possible that you have assets outside India? There are so many people who purchase maybe a property in London or shares of an American company or a South Indian Malayali restaurant in Singapore. Yes. If you have asset outside India, you have to declare that asset to Indian government. That, sir, I have got the following assets outside India. And if you don't declare that asset, then if we catch it as a government, then we will levy tax on you under this act called Black Money Act. Undisclosed foreign asset and undisclosed foreign income. Okay, but this is only for very, very rich people. See, poor people like CA faculties and poor people like CA students have to focus on this. We struggle to earn this. Where is the question? We struggle to have assets in India. Where is the question of having assets outside India? Out of question. So let's focus on the income tax law, which is also applicable in your CA inter as well as your CA final. Let's go to the other side of the chart. Indirect tax. Tax on goods and services. What example do I give you? The name only is GST, goods and service tax. Earlier in India, there were multiple taxes. There was a tax called excise duty. If you manufacture goods in our country, there was excise duty. There was a tax called VAT. If you sell goods within the same state, so assessee in Maharashtra selling goods in Maharashtra, assessee in Gujarat selling goods in Gujarat, on sale of goods there was VAT. But if you sell in another state, means seller in Kerala and buyer in Maharashtra, so there used to be a tax called CST, Central Sales Tax. So same state VAT and other state CST, Central Sales Tax. If you stay in a restaurant, there used to be a tax called luxury tax. If you buy a cinema hall ticket or a water park or a amusement park ticket, there used to be a tax called entertainment tax. All these taxes are removed and covered into one tax called GST on goods or service. Now pay attention, please. Pay attention. If I am selling goods to you, supposingly I am a seller of mobile phones. I sell this mobile to you. Am I selling goods? On the sale of those goods, there will be a tax. Earlier it used to be VAT or CST based on same state or different state. But now it is GST, which will cover goods and service both. So the tax is not being levied on me. The tax is being levied on that sale of that product mobile phone. Let me give you another example. Anyways, I am not a seller of goods. I am a chartered accountant. So I provide services to my clients. Auditing services, taxation services, accounting services, teaching profession. So in this, are we selling any tangible goods like mobile or calculator or book or laptop? No. We are selling intangible services. Correct? So every time I sell my service, I make a bill. Audit fees charged to a company ABC Limited. Direct tax coaching fees of a student Mr. X. On the sale of that service, there is a tax levied. Earlier it used to be called service tax. But now it is merged. Goods and service are merged into one GST. Goods and service tax. Different rates are there. When you learn the other 40 marks of taxation, you will be taught. For example, in my services, I have to pay 18% GST. Now, there are some goods which come in 12% also. There are some goods which come in higher rate also, based on the kind of service. But what you have to focus on here is, if I am selling the service to any client of mine, taxation service, the tax is not levied on me. The tax is levied on that service. You take a gym membership. You all have New Year resolutions. I will reduce weight. Okay. So we take gym memberships in the first week of January every year, and then we go for 2 days, and then the third day we are sleeping. They are providing you service. On that bill they will add GST. So the indirect tax is not charged on a person, you, me, or the gym owner. The goods and service tax are charged on sale of goods, sale of services. And the main difference, why is it called indirect tax? Because here you have to transfer the benefit to another person, and that is the main difference between direct tax and indirect tax. Under direct tax, remember what I told you. From the income that you earn, you have to pay income tax. Will you ever get that money back? No, it's gone. Forget it. But indirect tax does not work like this. If I have to pay this tax to the government, I don't have to pay the tax from my pocket. I will transfer the tax to the person who is buying. For example, I am selling mobile phone of 40,000 rupees. Example, government wants 10%. There is no rate called 10% GST in country. I am taking only an example. 10%. So what is 10% of 40,000? 4,000 rupees. 4,000 will be charged by the government on this sale. Government will charge 4,000 on sale. Government is not charging me, it is charging on the mobile. So what will I do? I will give you the mobile. Take 40,000 from you. That is the selling price of my mobile. And plus take 4,000 extra from you, because the sale of good attracts tax and we have to pay it to the government. I will not pay from my own pocket. I will transfer benefit to the buyer of goods and service. The seller of goods and service will transfer the benefit to the buyer of goods and service. Same thing happens in service tax. Also, let's talk about a restaurant. Restaurant, I am taking an example because you may have some point of time paid, and even if you shared it amongst a group of 5 people. So if you order anything in a restaurant, say a group of friends have gone to celebrate CA results, 2,000 is the bill. Let me take the actual GST rate on restaurants. The actual GST rate is 5%. So 2,000, you must have seen that in the bills. 2,000 is the sale that restaurant did to the customers who came there to eat. And on that service, government wants tax. Government does not want the tax from a particular person. They want that from the service. So 5% will make it 100 rupees. So what will the restaurant tell you? Listen, dear customer, I want only 2,000 because that is what I have sold you. But on this 2,000, government wants tax. So you will have to pay that extra. So whether it is your restaurant or your gym membership or your CA fees that is being charged to you, we all have to pass on the burden to the other person. That is the difference between direct tax and indirect tax. And thus, indirect tax results in inflation. Indirect tax creates burden on poor people. This is not relevant for exam but relevant for your general knowledge. Please focus. Please focus. Income tax has to be paid only if you have income. Poor people like me, poor people like you, we don't have income. If you don't have income, don't pay tax. Only if you have income, you pay tax. But day-to-day goods and service we all need. We all need a headphone if we are attending class at a common area. We all need a mobile phone or a laptop to attend the class. We all need to travel from one place to another. So whatever transport mode we choose, if we travel by our own vehicle, then we will have to fill that petrol, diesel. And if we travel through any other transport like a taxi or a rickshaw, so that petrol, diesel, whatever is used in the taxi, or that CNG, that gas which is used in the taxi, the taxi driver is going to recover the cost from you. It's his business, no? So the burden is passed on to the consumer. What is indirect tax? In one line, the burden of this tax is passed on to the consumer. Here, the person who is paying to the government will pay from his own pocket and he has to forget that money forever. But here, the burden is going to be passed to the other person, that is called indirect tax. Example of direct tax is income tax, and example of indirect tax is GST. That is the difference between direct tax and indirect tax. In short, whenever you pay from your own pocket, what is that tax called? Direct tax. And whenever you pass on the burden of that tax to another person, what will that tax be called? Indirect tax. Okay. And those people who don't have, I'll come to you, Moin. Those people who don't have incomes, our student lives specifically, you will never get a chance to interact with direct taxes. But this is something, the burden of which comes on everyone. When I started, I asked, have you paid tax? So one of the students in class said that I have paid indirect tax. But then without knowing, how will you understand? Here, only if you have income, you have to pay. But here, if you are the consumer of anything, you know what is a consumer, no? The person who is buying anything. If you are the consumer, you have to pay this tax. Because the seller will charge this tax. Government wants this tax, seller will charge this tax on you. Let me give you one more example. Okay. Supposingly there is an actor called Salman Khan. You've heard his name? Even if you are irrespective of which region of the country you belong to. Salman Khan. He has been invited by a rich industrialist. To dance in the wedding of marriage of one of his children. These Bollywood celebrities go to dance in weddings. If you have money, you can call them. It's all about money. You can make anyone dance. Okay. Supposingly he is charging 5 crore rupees for that. Example. What is the rate for dancing in a wedding? Salman Khan? 5 crore rupees. Is that 5 crore income of Salman Khan when he is taking that? On that income, he will pay income tax on 5 crore and he will not get that back from anyone. A portion of that 5 crore will go away to the government in the form of income tax and you won't get it back. But wait, is Salman Khan a service provider who is providing dance services to the consumer of dance? To the audience? So on that service also there will be some tax that government will take, that will be GST. And what is the difference? Pay attention. 5 crore is Salman Khan's income. That tax Salman Khan will pay from his own pocket from 5 crore rupees. But the service tax, the GST that will get attracted on 5 crore, that money Salman Khan will charge to the party, the industrialist who has invited him. Example 18%. So what is the bill? 5 crore is the bill for dancing. And plus we add GST, taxes, 18%. What is 18% of 5 crore? 90 lakh rupees. What is the total that will be received by Salman Khan from that industrialist? Therefore, finally, 5.9 CR, that's 5 crore 90 lakh rupees. From this, 5 crore rupees will be kept by Salman Khan because that is his income, and 90 lakh will be paid to the government. That 90 is gone. Means Salman Khan is only acting as an intermediary, collecting from the client and paying it to the government. Collecting and paying. Collecting and paying. Now pay attention why it is called indirect tax. The person who is paying to the government is Salman Khan. Yes. Who will go and pay money to the government? Salman Khan. But not from his own pocket. He will not pay it from his own pocket. He will collect from the other party and pay it. So, listen to what I am saying. The person responsible to make payment to the government will be Salman Khan. But the person from whose pocket this money is going is that industrialist. The person making tax payment and the person bearing the burden from his pocket, are they two different people? The one who paid to the government and the one whose pocket is bearing that expense, are they two different people? That is why we call it this part, or this part, we call it what? Indirect tax. Because the person paying and the person bearing the burden are two different people. Now come on this side. Whose income is this? Salman Khan. Who will pay this income tax on this income to the government? Salman Khan. From his own income, from his own pocket, that one person will pay. Will he be able to transfer or pass on the burden to anyone else? No. That is why we call it direct tax. Why is the tax? This is income, of course. This is income. On this income, there will be tax. I hope you understand income is something else and tax is something else. Tax is calculated on the income. Hello. So the tax that will come here will be paid by that individual from his own pocket, and he will never get that money back from anyone. But the tax which is applicable here, I will pass on the burden to someone else. So the person making payment and the person bearing the burden are two different people, and therefore we call it indirect tax. So whenever you pay from your own pocket, it is direct tax, and whenever the consumer is charged, it is indirect tax. This burden is faced only by those people who are rich, who have income, but this burden is faced by everyone, because any product, any commodity, any goods, any service, any shop you buy, that burden has to be borne by you. The shopkeeper will charge that to you. Yes, sometimes what happens now, see, because of GST, let me explain the practical issue also, because this is applicable in fact to my classroom and I can explain this to you. Let me explain the practical issue here. Okay, because of GST, can I say he has charged 90 lakh rupees extra? Otherwise, Salman Khan wanted how much? 5 crore only. So if you see from point of view of Salman Khan, he got only 5 crore. But if you see it from point of view of the businessman paid from his pocket 5.9 crore. Come on. Sometimes what happens, businessmen will come and say, listen Mr. Salman Khan, I will pay you total 5 crore, all inclusive. I will not pay you anything extra. How to manage the taxes that you see. It happens with me. Now think about it. Hello. Supposingly my fees for CA inter direct tax only 5,000, or for CA final direct tax 15,000, just to give you examples. Okay, this 5,000 or 15,000, whatever fees I charge, let that amount be anything. Say take an example, 10,000 is my fees for any subject. Example I am taking. That's my income. I will have to pay income tax from my own pocket, and I cannot share the burden with anyone. Therefore we call it direct tax. But on this 10,000 there will be GST also, indirect tax on my income as well as the service. That GST, as we studied right now, you have to transfer the burden onto the other person. So I will tell the student 10,000 is my fees and plus 18% GST. So that will make it 11,800. If you calculate 18% of 10,000, you will get 1,800 rupees. So 11,800 rupees. So there are some people who say, no sir, we will pay you 10,000 only, all inclusive. Then in such cases, we have to do a little maths. You can call it reverse working, back calculation, or unitary method. This is elementary mathematics, and this is school level maths. If you charge 100 rupees and you add 18% GST, that makes the total 118. Like 5 crore, 90 lakh, and thus the total of 5.9 crore we got. That's the percentage. Supposingly the student or this businessman, whoever it is, that person is saying, I will give you 10,000 net, all inclusive. I will not give you anything extra. This is what happens in my teaching profession also. Student said, sir, you said 5,000 fees means 5,000. We are not going to pay 900 rupees extra. Sir, you said 10,000 fees means 10,000. We are not going to pay. So how that happens? Pay attention. Student will pay me total 10,000 all inclusive, nothing extra. This 10,000 will be considered as the amount including taxes, 118. So we have to do that cross multiplication. If 10,000 is 118, then 100 is how much? And 18 is how much? Do you understand doing cross multiplication unitary method simple? So can you tell me how much amount you get at 100 and how much amount you get at 18? Now some will go and search for calculator. Sorry? 8375. Okay. And at 18? 1,525. Are you sure about it? Yes, 8475 and 1525. So now pay attention. This means that my fees is only 8475. This is my fees. These are the taxes. This is the GST that I have collected, and thus the total amount paid by the student is 10,000 rupees. If you have really understood the calculation, then tell me, I will pay income tax on how much? Student has paid me 10,000. Student has paid me 10,000. I will pay income tax on how much? Because that is only my income. The other amount I will just collect and pay it to the government. This will go away. Only this will remain with me. Correct? Correct? This is called unitary method, cross calculation or back calculation, or whatever you call it in your school maths, based on whatever you have studied. That's how practically at some places, wherever the fees are also, teaching is one profession where the fees will be all inclusive. If you go to a restaurant, you are always aware that there will be extra taxes. If you take gym membership, you are always aware there will be extra taxes. But in teaching, we have to quote all inclusive. So now you can calculate that if all inclusive amount, a certain amount goes to the faculty, how much net remains after paying this much in the form of, and 18% is the applicable GST. How much is the net remaining amount? If you understand what I am trying to say. Okay. So wherever people charge extra on the bill, then it will be a calculation like this. But wherever it is a total, then this is how we are going to work. Is that clear? One of the students has got a doubt how we got 8475. Let me explain. 118 is the total amount including GST, 10,000. Is that understood or not understood? This working is understood. 100 rupees plus 18 GST, and therefore the total will be 118. Yes. Okay. Now, student is telling me that, sir, I will pay you total 10,000 including everything. Means I will not pay you anything extra. So what is the total collection done by the faculty from the student? 10,000 rupees. That 10,000 includes GST. So ratio wise, ratio and proportion is one of your maths chapter. The total is 10,000. So in ratio, if 118 is 10,000, so with back calculation, you simply know cross multiplication, no? Yes. So 10,000 into 18 divided by 118 if you do, or 10,000 into 100 divided by 118 you do, you will get these respective amounts, 8475 and 1525. Is that understood? So in short, please conclude with me. Whenever the tax is paid from own pocket without passing the burden to anyone else, then we call it direct tax. And whenever the burden is passed on to the other party, whenever the burden is passed on to the other party, we call it indirect tax, where the person making payment and the person who is paying to the government and the person who is bearing from the own pocket are going to be two different people. They are going to be two different people. That is indirect tax. And even under indirect tax, if there is an all-inclusive payment made, so this is how by back calculation we have to find out the liability. Yes, Moin, you can ask your doubt now.
Sir,
8475 or 57? 75 it is, no? This is my income. Tell me one thing. Come here, एक second. If you answer this, Moin, this is what Salman Khan did. 5 crore was charges for dancing, 90 lakh was taxes, and total recovered from the businessman was 5 crore 90 lakhs. What was the income of Salman Khan in this?
it was 5 crore.
Because 90 lakh was just collected and paid. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Same thing will apply here also. This is my income. This is just collected and paid to the government. This does not remain with me. I have to just pay to the government. Today, if you go to a restaurant, 2000 rupees bill plus 5% GST, 100 rupees. So total 2100. Income of restaurant is only 2000. 100 rupees is collected and paid to the government. Anything which is collected and paid is not a part of the income of receiver. The income of the receiver is only going to be this component, only this much. Understood, Moin and everyone else?
So then I say this is an expenditure tax and tax as well.
Maybe, yes, of course. But with what I explained to you here, Moin and everyone else, please pay attention. Can you also understand that in case our customer is not willing to pay that extra, you go to a shop and you say, sir, I am going to pay you 40,000 total for the mobile. I am not going to pay anything extra. Then with this working, will the shopkeeper have to bear that tax liability? With the working that I have shown. So sometimes the burden may come on the seller also. If the buyer is not willing to pay that extra, the burden comes on the seller, which is why every time we do any kind of financial contracts, no, of sale of goods or services, we make it clearly write GST extra, or we write including taxes. We write including taxes or we write GST extra, so that there is no confusion later. If on 10,000 I separately add tax, then I will collect 11,800. 10,000 will be my income and 1,800 I will be paying to the government. Or if I say 10,000 is including taxes, then my income is only this much, because this much I have to pay to the government. So which is why, to avoid any fight, we always mention taxes will be included or taxes will be separate. If taxes are included, then seller has to pay from own pocket, and if taxes are separate, then buyer has to pay. That is how it works. Understood, Mohin? Okay. And has everyone in class understood the meaning of direct tax and indirect tax? Very good. So we reach that stage of our life where we have understood the meaning of tax, and we have also understood the difference between direct tax and indirect tax, which is also your portion. If I have to tell you what is your portion, so for 60 marks in inter, I am removing Black Money Act for the time being, 60 marks in inter and 100 marks in CA final, you have to study income tax. And as far as your indirect tax portion is concerned, for 40 marks in inter and 100 marks separate, they are two separate papers in final. So 40 marks in inter and 100 marks in CA final. So this is 160 marks and this is 140 marks. But of course, in GST, along with the goods and services, we still have a tax called custom duty. So if you import any goods from a foreign country today, any kind of imported goods, there is still a tax called custom duty. Again, it is levied on the goods. Supposingly, I am an importer. I import Oppo phones from China. So on that import, on that goods, there will be custom duty. Example, 10 lakh goods and 1 lakh custom duty. 10 lakh goods, 1 lakh custom duty. So whenever I will sell these mobile phones, that 1 lakh rupees I will recover from my customer, because it is indirect tax. It's applicable on the goods. That is also an example. Custom duty is also a part of your portion of your CA final indirect tax paper. Inter it is there or not there, I am not sure, but in CA final, custom duty is also a part of your portion. But the main law will remain GST and indirect tax. And in direct tax, there is only one law. Income tax, it is so big, so huge, so vast that they have to actually keep only 50% in the portion right now in intermediate. So, we are clear about meaning of taxes, and we are also clear about the difference between direct tax and indirect tax. Now, before we go into our Income Tax Act study, that is going to be our task for the rest of our portion. Today was the only day where all this introduction happened. Before we go into the depth of the study of income tax law, I wish to tell you this one more thing. Okay, in India there are many laws. You have studied any law before today? Any law you have idea? Companies Act. Some of you all have studied, already started studying law. Was it there in foundation also? इसके लिए Contract Act was also there then maybe. Contract Act, Partnership Act, Sale of Goods Act. Very good. Very good. They have all been enacted in respective years. If I have to tell you, Sale of Goods Act was 1930 or Partnership Act was 1932. Contract Act, you know, 1872. Are these years that I have spoken right? You all have studied them recently. I studied Contract Act in 2006-7, 16 years ago. But still I remember it was 1872. Am I right? These are all pre-independence laws. 1872, 1930, 1932. Please pay attention to what I am saying. 1872. 1930-32 is also pre-independence. Partnership Act is pre-independence. These laws were enacted by the British in our country. That means, can I say these are very old laws? Contract Act is a 150-year-old law. Yes. Even Partnership Act will become 100 years very soon. Companies Act was there in 1956. Then it got replaced. Companies Act 2013. But on the 26th of January 1950, what is the significance of 26th January in India? And why is it celebrated Republic Day? Why? The Constitution of India was enacted and adopted. The sovereign socialist republican country called India. Chartered Accountants Act was enacted in 1949. Do you know that? CA Institute was created 1 year before Constitution of India. Do you know that? If not, that I am telling you. 1949, Chartered Accountants, an Act of Parliament. Constitution of India, can I say, compared to these other laws like Contract Act, Partnership Act, Sale of Goods Act, it's a little younger. Hello. It's a little younger, no? But this is the senior most law of the country in terms of anything. Anything that the citizen of the country can do, anything that the government of the country can do, anything that the government of any state can do, everything has to be done within the Constitution. The moment you violate any provision of the Constitution, that act will be declared as illegal, invalid. We call it void. Void. As per Contract Act language, we call it void. You cannot violate any provision of the Constitution of India. Respect does not come with age. It does not come. I took my work seriously, my studies seriously. Started teaching at 22. Became CA at the age of 23. I did things little earlier than others. There are some people who become CA at the age of 28, 29, 30 because they don't take it seriously, they keep on giving attempts. If I just talk about my last batch, just last batch, not a very old batch, last batch, I had a student who was 61 years old in CA final. Age of the student 61 years. I said, if my father was living today, he would have been your age. Who should respect whom? Who should respect whom? I am the teacher and I have a 61-year-old student. My class worked the way I wanted, irrespective of what is the age of that student. Age does not bring respect. I am the teacher. Once it is a classroom, I am the teacher. Outside the classroom, he is my father's age. I will bend down, bow down, touch the feet. Kala pidigya. I will touch the feet. Because elder than me. But inside my classroom, what I say is final and I don't listen to anyone when it comes to my classroom. No one can tell me what to do, how to do. I decide and what I decide is final. You want to stay in my class, you stay, otherwise you don't come to my class. And I'm very clear about this, whether it is physical lecture, online lecture, anything. Respect does not come with age, and that rule is applicable here also, ladies and gentlemen. Indian Contract Act is 1872, sale of goods is 1930, partnership is 1932. But if any of these laws write anything against the constitution which came in 1950, much later than these laws, the constitution is going to be superior to any other law of the country. Any law of the country cannot be above the constitution. Nobody in our country is above the constitution. The constitution is the senior most superior law of the country, not in terms of age, but in terms of applicability. It is superior to any other law of the country. It is going to, I will speak legal language, see if you understand. It is going to overrule, override anything contradictory written in any language, in any law. Constitution, or let me be simple if you don't understand legal language. Constitution is superior to everything. What, ladies and gentlemen? Constitution is superior to everything. Have you understood? Everyone? It is the constitution of our country. It is the constitution of our country which empowers government to levy tax. Before we started our income tax discussion, it was necessary that you understand this aspect, this issue. It is the constitution of our country that empowers government to levy tax. We started discussing what? Government is providing road, railway, bridges, vaccines, everything. That is why government is taking tax. That is how we discussed. When we said what is tax? We said collection by government to provide all these services. That is tax. Did we discuss it? Chalo, let me do one thing. Let me do one thing. Tell me, Sanu Salman. Hi. Hi Salman. How are you? Salman, which city are you from? City. Kerala is a state. Malappuram. Malappuram is very famous for gold loans, no? Manappuram. Acha. You are from Malappuram. Okay. And how far is it from Cochin? 200 kilometers. Matlab, I can say about 3-4 hours of travel. The roads in Kerala are very nice though, I know. Yeah. 3 hours. Very good. When I take lectures in Kochi, no, students from all the nearby areas like Kottayam and all these other places also, There are students who do daily up down because they don't want to stay in a hostel. So morning 4 o'clock they leave from their house, they reach class and evening they go back. CA 15 days CA final batches which I conduct in Kerala. Today I am giving you an option, Sanu. I am going to construct a special road right from your house to my class in Kochi. Or let's do one thing, you come to Mumbai only, no, I will make one road from your house to my house. Private road, only you can use and I can use. Nobody else will be allowed to use. And pay me tax for that. Will you pay me? He's left the class only. Because it came about payment, no, he's like, sir, I don't want to pay, so he left the class. Are you there? No. I say that I will provide you railway services. I say I will make a special hospital for you. Will you start paying taxes to me? Yes. I want to become a minister in your state because you are willing to pay me even like this. No. Listen. I say I will start providing vaccines. You have to come to my house and take free vaccine. And I will put water and give it to you. No. Tax can be taken. Let me be clear. Only by government and no one else. Only and only and only the government is empowered to take tax. I cannot take tax from you. You cannot take tax from me. You cannot do that. Tax can be taken only by the government. And you know what? Abhi some time back I told you what? That in India nobody is above the constitution. I have to abide by the constitution. You have to abide by the constitution. We have to all do what is within the boundary of the constitution. So ladies and gentlemen, it is the constitution of India which empowers. Constitution has said government will take tax from you. Constitution has not said Professor Surana will take tax from you. If the constitution says that someday, Sanu, you will have to pay tax to me on that day. But today, the constitution does not allow me to take tax. Power has been given only to the government under the constitution of India. Today, we have an answer to very important question. Whenever you will, after this class, you will go and tell people, I have started learning tax. You will tell people, no? Abhi tax chalu hua hai, I have started learning tax. I have attended some lectures of tax. First question people will ask you is, why do we pay tax to the government? Why don't we pay tax to anybody else and only to the government? Today we have an answer to that question also. Why is tax paid only to the government and not to anyone else? Because the power of tax collection has been granted to the government and nobody else. And who has granted that power? Who has granted that power? The Constitution of India. The Constitution of India has granted that power. The Constitution, some concluding points about the Constitution. The Constitution is divided into multiple articles. Constitution of India is divided into something called articles. Sir, what are articles? Articles are just like sections. This you know, every law is divided in sections. Section 1, Section 2, Section 3. In the Constitution, it is called article. Because Constitution is not enacted as the Indian Constitution Act. If it is Act, then they use section numbers. It is the Constitution of India, so we call it Article 1, Article 2. I think you must have heard also about some popular articles like, this was very much in the news since few years. Article 370, special status for Jammu and Kashmir. And Article 370 was abolished. Jammu and Kashmir is no longer a state. It was divided in two union territories, Kashmir and Ladakh. Some general knowledge about what is happening in the country is also required to become a CA. Little, not too much. Little general knowledge is required. Little. So constitution is divided in articles. Once all the articles get over, then there are schedules. Now what is this schedule? Have you ever made something called notes to accounts? Notes to accounts? Working notes? The schedules are just like notes. Working notes. Notes to accounts. So main constitution is over. After the main constitution gets over, they have given some general points. What do we call them? Schedules. Schedule 1 of constitution, schedule 2 of constitution, schedule 3. In this, there is a schedule called schedule 7. Schedule 7 of the Constitution of India. Understand the chronology. What is the main source of power for the government to levy tax? From where has government got the power? Constitution of India. Constitution is divided in articles. After the articles get over, general points are given. General points are called schedules. And in that, there is a schedule called schedule number 7. So, I am discussing with you schedule number 7 of the Constitution of India. So, whatever I am going to write over here, where is it written? In the Constitution, in schedule number 7. Where is it written? In the Constitution, in schedule 7. In the Constitution, in schedule 7, you may have studied this in school civics. School civics, it's a part of the course curriculum of some school syllabus, some boards, but it's okay even if you have not, because anyways I am doing it with you. There is a list called union list, also known as list 1. What is list 1 called? Union list. List 2, state list. And there is a list 3, concurrent. Very good. How do you guys know this? Is it because you studied in school or you have already started learning GST? Very good. Very clever. Then I think with the kind of answer, see how this kind of communication, I'll just take a minute to make you understand, because it's a live example in front of us. When communication happens from both sides, no, that means I realize that okay, you all are present in class physically, mentally, you are all also understanding what I am saying, and whatever is happening in class, you all are following everything. Okay, so there are, yes, schedule 7 of the Constitution of India divided in 3 lists: list 1, list 2, list 3, union list, state list and concurrent list. What is the significance of dividing them into lists? Union list means powers of central government. So anything which is written in the list, who can make a law regarding this? Only central government can make any law. State government does not have the power of making any law with respect to this. This is only under the control of central government. Any law relating to railways, only central government can make. Any law relating to flights, what is going to be airport security in our country? State government cannot interfere. State government only has to provide land for making the airport. The airport will be under the control of central government. Any rule relating to CBI, Central Bureau of Investigation. Any rule relating to an organization called Enforcement Directorate. Any rule with respect to income tax. Who has the power to make? Let me write the full thing. This is our subject. Who has the power to make any rule with respect to income tax? Central government. Means today you learn a very important thing. State government can never say state government of Maharashtra, Chief Minister Mr. Uddhav Thackeray, state government of Kerala, Chief Minister Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan. It is him only, no? Or is he changed? It is him only. State government of Andhra, Mr. Jagan Mohan Reddy, is it? Yes, yes. State government of Gujarat, Mr. Vijay Bhai Rupani. He has changed. I think it is Mr. Bhupendra Patel now. Bhupendra Patel, yeah. State government of Rajasthan, Chief Minister Mr. Ashok Gehlot. They cannot in that state. Mr. Uddhav Thackeray today cannot stand up in Maharashtra and say that following incomes there will be income tax, following incomes there will be no income tax. He cannot make, he does not have the power. He does not have that power only. Whose power it is? Central government. Income tax. Today you learn a very important thing, and this question people will ask you till you become a CA. After you become a CA, for the rest of your life, if you continue with chartered accountancy, whether you continue with me or you don't continue, that is your choice. It's a matter of choice. First lecture, that choice is given. Whether you continue with me or you don't continue with me, that's absolutely your choice. India is a democratic country. You can take that choice, and your career is important. If you think it is good for your career, you should continue. Otherwise, you should not. Very clear I am on this. And it does not affect me at all. Anyways, because there is one batch that I take. Video lectures get recorded. And I earn royalty on it throughout the year. Throughout the year. On the recordings that take place. So, revenue is not the criteria. Today, I want to make the base of CA inter students so strong that their final tax also becomes easy for you, which will require me to go into more detail than what other people may do. There will be other people who will probably finish your direct tax portion in 60 to 80 hours. I am going to take 100 to 120 hours because I want to make the base so strong that even final becomes easy. Whether you continue or you don't continue, that's your choice. And you will face this important question all your life. Income tax is paid to government. For that matter, any tax is paid to the government. All taxes are paid to government only. Hello? Which government takes income tax? Central government will take income tax. Central government will take income tax. Because income tax is in list 1, that is union list, powers of central government under schedule 7 of the Constitution of India. You understand the chronology? I had to come to it point by point. Which is the senior most law of our country? Constitution. No law can contradict the Constitution. Nobody is above the Constitution. Everyone has to follow everything written in the Constitution. So you start reading the Constitution. As per Constitution, power to take tax is only to government. I cannot take tax. Even if I am willing to make a personal road from your house to my house, I cannot take tax. Tax can be taken only by the government. But where in the Constitution it is written? It's such a big Constitution. In the Constitution, where is it written? After the Constitution gets over, the notes start. What are the notes called in Constitution? Schedules. In which schedule? Schedule number 7. 3 list. List 1, central government. Power, union list, powers of central government, and income tax is over there. List 2, state list. Now it is very easy to find out. Or very easy, even if I don't ask or even if I don't discuss, you know the answer. Whose powers? Obviously, powers of state government. Means who are going to make these laws? State government has the power. State government has the power to enact these laws. These are under the control of state government. If you want example on this, pay attention. I can give you one easy example and finish off the matter. Any kind of law relating to agriculture. Any kind of law relating to agriculture can be made only by the state government. Only the state government can make a law regarding agriculture. Central government does not have the power to make any law about agriculture. Or let me put it this way. Responsibility of farmers is on the state government as per constitution. This is not my opinion. What is written in the constitution? Now you will think, sir, no sir, there were 3 farm laws which central government was proposing to make, law relating to farming, and then there were protests across the country. Delhi Punjab border was blocked, and then the central government had to take back those laws. You have half knowledge. Half knowledge is worse than no knowledge. The law that central government was proposing to make was basically, once the goods are purchased from the farmers. So you should know this. In our country, government purchases goods from the farmers by paying them a minimum price, and then that is distributed to poor people at concessional price. So government will pay the farmer for purchase of wheat, pay full money to the farmer and purchase wheat, pay full money to the farmer and purchase rice, you know, basmati rice, kolam rice, pay money to the farmer, purchase from the farmer, and now this wheat, this rice will be distributed to people below poverty line at reduced prices. Wheat at 2 rupees per kg, rice at 3 rupees per kg under food security. So what government was proposing to make was, these purchase and sale will be in an open market. There will be an open market and all the trading will happen over there. It was not relating to any taxation. Central government does not have the power only to levy any tax on agriculture. If at all there has to be anything collected by government in the form of taxation, that power is given only to the state government. Agriculture is in the power of state government. Today you should go home happy, very happy. You are like, sir, I am already at home. No, after class you should be very happy, because today, whether you come back on Monday or no, that's your choice. But today I have covered answer to a very important question, which is again something that you will find in your life, people asking you again and again. Something that you already maybe know, but you don't know the reason. In India, there is no income tax on agriculture. Farmers do not pay any income tax in our country. Sir, we know this. There is no income tax on agriculture. We know this much. And you know it right. Yes, in India, there is no income tax on agriculture. We call it exempt income. Whenever government does not want tax on any income, what is it called in income tax? If we don't want tax, what is it called? Exempt income. We all know this, sir. Yes, sir. No income tax on agriculture. Farmers don't pay tax. Which is why some rich celebrities actually bribe the government and procure farming license. Have you heard of a gentleman called Mr. Amitabh Bachchan? Everyone knows him. He has a farming license. He is a very poor farmer from Allahabad. Very poor farmer from Uttar Pradesh. Very poor guy. In Maharashtra, we have a politician who is currently controlling the entire state government. Entire state of Maharashtra is under his control. And he also aspires to become Prime Minister. He is already 80 plus, but he wants to become Prime Minister. You know who I am talking about? Those who have interest in politics? No? Huh? NCP chief. Pawar sir. Mr. Sharad Pawar. A very, very poor farmer from the Baramati district of Maharashtra. Very poor guy. He is a farmer. Most politicians will come on TV and say, farmer ka, kisan ka beta hu, farmer ka beta hu. I am the son of a farmer. My father was a farmer. I am the son of a farmer. Most politicians do that because they don't want to pay income tax. We all know there is no income tax on agriculture, but today we know the answer to the question why there is no income tax on agriculture. Why? Why ka answer I will give you today, and you will go home a more educated person today. Why ka answer is right in front of you on the screen. If you observe carefully, answer the following questions and you'll get the answer to this question. Why no income tax on agriculture? Answer the following question. Question number 1. In India, as per Schedule 7 of the Constitution of India, who has the power to levy income tax? Tax on income earned by anyone? Listen to the question carefully. Who has power to levy income tax is my question. Because income tax is in list 1, union list. Very good. Next question. In our country India, who has the power to levy tax, any kind of tax? It may not be income tax. Any kind of tax on agriculture. Because agriculture falls in list 2, state list. Central government cannot tax agriculture. It does not have the power. And state government cannot take income tax. It does not have the power. Because income tax is in list 1 of the Constitution and agriculture is in list 2 of the Constitution. The powers are divided between central government and state government unless and until agriculture and income tax come in the same list. What are the possibilities? Income tax will never come here. Never. Huh? No central government will amend the Constitution to put income tax with the state. No. What is the possibility? That they amend the Constitution of India like they did to introduce GST. I'll tell you that story also. They amend the Constitution and move agriculture from list 2 to list 1. Means can I say agriculture and income tax both will become powers of? That is when there will be tax on agriculture in our country. Income tax on agriculture. The reason why there is no income tax on agriculture, you perceive farmers as very poor people, poor farmer. You do one thing, go to Punjab, go to Haryana, go to some of these rich farmers. Some of these farmers have got annual income of crores of rupees. Crores I am saying, not lakhs. Crores of rupees. Because of the kind of geographical environment in those states. They get a very good price and they don't pay any taxes. Government wants to tax them. But constitutionally, it does not have the power. And I have been continuously telling you that we cannot go, nobody is allowed to go against the Constitution. So if central government starts taking income tax on agriculture, that means central government is trying to come here, it's a violation. And state government starts taking income tax on agriculture, that means state government is trying to take this. Again, it's a violation. Income tax on agriculture is possible only if we remove it from here and we put it here. But that requires amendment to the Constitution, no? Ladies and gentlemen, no central government will do that because you understand the politics behind this. Only that agriculture products should be sold in an open market. For that they were proposing to bring farm laws. Ultimately, they had to take those laws back. The moment the central government will try to bring any kind of proposal that we want to shift agriculture from year to year, can you imagine the amount of protests that will happen across the country? Already farmers are killing themselves, committing suicide because they don't have money, they are not able to repay their loans. They are being troubled by money lenders. They can never do this. So we don't expect any kind of such constitutional amendment, and today we have not just the, we know that we all knew there is no income tax on agriculture even before today's class started. But today we have the answer to the, do we have the answer? Have you understood that income tax is in list 1, power of central government, and agriculture is in list 2, power of state government, and that is why there is no income tax on agriculture in our country. Have we understood this? Now, if you want me to go a little more into the concept of list 1, list 2, before I come to the concurrent list. If you want me to take you a little more into that, some years ago, sale of goods was written over here. Please pay attention. Huh? So, whenever there is any kind of sale of goods and we have to take tax on it, who will take tax? State government. If the goods are sold within the state, so the tax was called VAT. There used to be a tax called, pay attention, Maharashtra Value Added Tax Act, Karnataka Value Added Tax Act, Gujarat VAT, Rajasthan VAT, Kerala VAT. Are you with me? And if we sell it in another state, we used to call it central sales tax, CST. And sale of services was here. So as a CA, we used to provide service to anyone. On the bill, we used to add service tax, indirect tax, no? So we will add in the bill, service tax. And who used to get service tax? Which government? So if there is sale of goods, who will get tax? State government. And if there is sale of service, who will get tax? But worldwide, a lot of countries merged these two into one. India did it in 2017. Other countries, some developed countries, already had the concept of GST. So there used to be a common tax on goods and service. But in India, because of the constitution, do you understand the difficulty here? If we have to introduce GST, what are the options? Either we remove service and put it here, so state government will take tax on both goods and service. Or we remove goods and put it here. Central government will take on both. Do you understand? That means, do you understand? To bring GST, our constitution has to undergo an amendment. So many years it took. Because constitution amendment cannot happen easily. First, it has to be passed by Lok Sabha. Now, a little political knowledge is required to understand what I say. There are 543 members of parliament which we vote and elect. Every state has got some allocated seat. Highest number is in Uttar Pradesh, 80. In Maharashtra, we have 48. I think West Bengal, we have 42. There are seats in the parliament where we have to vote for. That is called Lok Sabha. And there is another house of parliament, upper house, it is called Rajya Sabha, where government nominates members. They are called Rajya Sabha members. If we want to amend the constitution, we have to pass that proposal from Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, and then get approval of 50% state governments. So those days there were 29 states. Now Kashmir is divided, but those days there were 29 states. So if Congress government wanted to bring GST, BJP state governments were not agreeing to it. And if BJP wanted to bring GST, then Congress state governments were not accepting it. But after 2014 Modi wave, what happened was, central government was BJP. Most of the states of the country, if I have to tell you the exception, 4 states of South and West Bengal. These 5 states have never voted for Modi and they are never going to vote also. Never. I know that, and I know the culture, the moment they hear the name Modi, they get angry. They say anything but don't take his name only in front of us. That's the condition in all the, little less in Karnataka, but Tamil Nadu is anti-Modi. Andhra is, Kerala is maximum anti-Modi, which is why Rahul Gandhi came and fought elections in Wayanad, if you understand the political reasons again involved here. Okay. And West Bengal again, they are leftist mentality. So, and West Bengal also has another problem, that there are a lot of Bangladeshi voters who have illegally, they are illegal immigrants staying with Indian identities, and these are the people who actually vote for Mamata Banerjee. So all the politics kept aside, except these 5 states, if you observe carefully, if you observe the political scenario, so Gujarat, Rajasthan, Maharashtra also, for that 5-year period between 2014 and 19, it was Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis who was from BJP. Gujarat, Rajasthan have always been under BJP, and they will always, for the coming 50 years also, Congress government is never going to be formed. It's a matter of every state. Madhya Pradesh was BJP, Uttar Pradesh also Yogi Adityanath, BJP. So BJP had got majority in state governments also. So they had majority in Lok Sabha, they had majority in Rajya Sabha, they had majority in state governments, they had majority everywhere, which is why they successfully passed this. What they did was, they removed goods from here, they kept it here. They said, we will collect the GST and we will divide it into 2 parts, state GST and central GST. That is what is charged in your bills also. CGST, SGST, we will collect. So, goods tax we are collecting total tax together and we will divide it. Matlab the GST revenue will be shared between central government and state government. So, whatever revenue you are getting today, you will continue to get that revenue. You don't worry, dear state government. But please allow us to move this. Earlier, central government was not allowed, but after the amendment to the constitution, where goods and services were merged with each other, we had the law called GST. And of course, more about it will be taught to you by the GST respected faculty, whoever is going to take your indirect tax portion. For now, all you have to understand is, or have you understood, what is central list, what is state list, and the respective powers of the two governments. And as far as the concurrent list is concerned, both central governments and state governments have the right to make law. So, if I have to give you an example, anything relating to education, there is going to be a central government education minister and there is going to be a state government education minister. Do you know that? The national education policy as to what is going to be the curriculum of the CBSE, the central board or any of this, that will be laid down by the state government. But do we have state education boards also? What is going to be the curriculum of the state board, that will be decided by the state government. Hospitals, health sector has to be jointly governed by both governments. So an organization like AIIMS, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, it will be under the central government, it will be everywhere. And then of course there are some local hospitals which are under the control of the state government. The government hospitals can be under the control of center or state, and the respective policy will be made by the respective government. Any development related activity, something as simple as roads. You know, there are national highways when we go from one state to other or one big city to other big city. Those national highways have to be taken care by the Union Road Minister. We have a gentleman called Mr. Nitin Gadkari who is taking care of roads right now. Very good Prime Minister candidate also. Because in the entire central government, Modi government, if there is only one person who is working sincerely, seriously, if there is only one person who is working, others are not working only. It is him. The amount of roads he has constructed since the few years of his ministry. Immense contribution to development, Mr. Gadkari. Nitin, I don't know whether you are looking so surprised that you have never heard the name only, Road Minister Gadkari. I am surprised. Because let me tell you, he is senior to Mr. Modi in BJP. Mr. Modi was a state chief minister. Before 2014, he was Gujarat CM. That everyone knows, no?
Yes, sir.
And at that time, Mr. Nitin Gadkari was national BJP president. Mr. Gadkari is of the same category as Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, LK Advani, Gadkari. They are all of the same category. Mr. Modi, Amit Shah, they are all below them. But because they want to be the people in power, the people with maximum power, so they have sidelined him. They don't give much respect to him. He has been given one ministry and he is taking his work seriously. And he is really working very hard for development. Chalo, you can Google more about him. Point is, national highway is under the control of Union Road Minister. But do you know there are internal roads also? State highways also. Within the city, there are roads. There is one big road in Mumbai called SV Road. So 50% of Mumbai is covered with that only. There is another road called Western Express Highway. In Mumbai, I am talking about. In that road, they use the word express and highway. These two words should be removed. It should only be called Western. Because it is neither express nor highway. On an average, you are stuck in a traffic jam for at least, the people who travel daily, 4 to 5 hours they spend in the traffic jam on Western Express Highway. It is only called an express highway. If I talk about Kerala, Kochi, I visit, there is a big road called Banerjee Road, which is under the metro line. That's where my hotel is also. That's where you go straight, you go to that Fort Kochi, Kochi Marine Drive ka route comes. There is this big road, which is also during peak hours, there is traffic jam. These roads are under the control of state government, local authority, municipal corporation. So roads are a responsibility of both governments. And such items will be mentioned under the concurrent list. Something that both governments have power will be mentioned in the concurrent list. In short, union list will be powers of the central government, state list will be powers of the state government, and concurrent list will be powers of both governments, central government as well as state government. Clear, everyone? So, tell me if we are clear about the following things, then I take you ahead. First, the introduction about faculty, subject, CA, inter, study material, everything, that what we did before the break. Then we studied what is tax, collection by the government, cost of living in a society, for development, only government, no one else. Now we have the answer to that also. Why is tax collected only by the government and no one else? Because Constitution has empowered only the government. Where under the Constitution? Schedule 7, where there are 3 lists. And are we also clear about difference between direct and indirect? Direct tax, the person who is paying from own pocket is also the person interacting with the government, and under indirect tax, the person interacting with the government will be someone else, and the person bearing that tax burden is going to be someone else. Is that clear, everyone? Okay. And as far as making laws in the concurrent list is concerned, both governments are allowed to make the respective law. Something as simple as, if I have to give you an example of one of the students has asked in the chat box, that is why I am answering this question. Sir, how will a law be made under the concurrent list? Because here only who can make law, at least be clear about that. Only central government. Here only who can make law? Only state government. Here who can make law? Both have the power. So both have done, or both have handled their respective power. When the central government announced the nationwide lockdown, that means that was applicable everywhere. When the central government lifted the lockdown, the state government still had the power. Does our state government, even today, there are some states in the country where educational institutions have clearly opened without any restriction. And there are some other states in Maharashtra, they did not open, only for a rough period. Just last couple of months before Omicron hit us, they were open, and that also at 50% capacity. Please pay attention. A CA coaching class cannot work at 50% capacity. If you are doing chartered accountancy and you don't understand this much mathematics, then you are not meant for CA. This is not an engineering or MBA college where one person is paying lakhs and lakhs of rupees. And even if there are 10 students, then the figure will convert into crores. And the educational institution can run. In CA coaching, considering the level of fees being charged, unless we make 5 people sit on a bench meant for 3. The bench is meant, some big coaching classes of Mumbai, if I tell you, they make a bench for 3 people, but they make 5 people sit over there. Without that, they are not able to recover their costs also. It is not possible to recover the cost. The overhead expenditure of running an organization, rent, electricity, salary, maintenance, the study material, multiple expenditures. It is not possible in 50% capacity. So we have, in short, decided not to do any physical class. But in Ahmedabad, it is working. Someone told me in Kerala, physical lectures are on right now. They have permitted physical lectures. Is it true? Offline physical classrooms in Kerala? Fingers crossed. My batch for final CA is scheduled in March 9 to 23rd in Kochi. Fingers crossed. Let's hope it stays like this. I must say that April 2021, second wave hit us. In a couple of months, all the states slowly recovered. Till as late as September, October also, Kerala was reporting more cases than rest of the country. Yes or no? In September, Kerala was reporting, I think, 30,000 cases per day. Kerala alone. Because my November batch of September, November exam batch, November 21 batch, which was in September month, got cancelled because of the situation in Kerala. So in Kerala, the second wave never gone, it didn't go anywhere, and the third wave came. So my question is, at that stage, in those circumstances, does the state government have the power to make local laws for you, local restrictions, a restriction on the movement during the weekends. Even today, I have got relatives in Chennai. They tell me that Tamil Nadu is under complete weekend curfew. No movement allowed at all. So as and when required, central government and state government will make laws for anything which is mentioned under the concurrent list. This is how it works. Tell me, do you understand what is happening? Everyone? Chaliye. With this, we reach that stage of our life where plenty of introduction about everything, including the thing called taxation and its importance in your career as a CA student and thereafter as a professional is understood. So then time has come to go and learn the main law, which is your only law. If I have to teach you direct tax after today, from now onwards, anything that I am going to teach you is only one law. I am here to teach you only one law. And it's a law which has been enacted in our country. That is why we call it the Income Tax Act. Only one law, Income Tax Act. As far as direct tax is concerned, only thing in our syllabus is Income Tax Act. In inter as well as final, there is no other law. Final mein Black Money Act is in international tax. It is not there in direct tax. I told you, no? Only one law, Income Tax Act. And like every other law, this is also obviously divided into, guess what? Divided into? Come on. Sections? Yes. So we have an Income Tax Act 1961 and it has been divided into multiple sections. The law is so huge, so vast that I have been again and again telling you, half of it is a part of CA Inter, approximately half, and the other half is in CA Final. True or false? False. False. What is in CA Final? Full. This half and that half. This half and that half. Like every law, obviously, it will start with Section 1. Section 1 in any law is always going to be title and commencement. Any student who has studied any law before today, and you all tell me that you all have studied company law, contract act, then you should know what is the meaning of title and commencement. Do you know title and commencement? Nahi? What? Name of the law? Yes. Yes, very good. And commencement means this law will come into force from which date? If I have to say for income tax, for this income tax law. So, this act will be called the Income Tax Act 1961 and it will come into force from 1st April 1962. So, it was enacted in 1961. People earned income during that year and you start paying tax. Means unless you earn income, you don't pay tax, no? So, 1 year was given to people for what purpose? Well, earn income, earn. After that year got over, now you start paying tax from 1st April 1962. Now tell me one thing. Any student in this class who was present in 1961? Anyone? I was not there. So I am just confirming. In my case, even my parents were not there in 1961. So if I have to tell you the year of birth of my father, no, my father was there 1960. Mother is 1964. My mother also was not there when income tax came in India. Grandparents, of course, were there. Probably same may be your case also, or maybe a little different. Just to give you a small thing before I continue further. Which year Income Tax Act got enacted in our country? In the year 1961 and it came into force from 1962. Wait, sir, does that mean that before 1961 India did not have only income tax? That's the question. See, all this is not relevant today. Today we are sitting in the year 2022. Do we have income tax? Yes, of course. For 160 marks in our CA syllabus. 60 plus 100. 60 plus 100. Today, do we have income tax? Yes. But let's find out a little history. Thoda scratch karke, let's remove a little history. Sir, Income Tax Act enacted in which year? 1961. So does that mean that before 1961 there was no income tax only? There was. There was a law called Income Tax Act 1922. That act got deleted, this got enacted. Just like Companies Act 1956 was abolished and Companies Act 2013 was enacted. This you all know, no? Similarly, I'll tell you something. Income tax was in India even when India was ruled by British. Lagan. Amir Khan fans, anyone here? What is Lagan? What is Lagan? Translate Lagan in English. So you come to know it is income tax only. A part of your income has to be paid to the government. Translate the word. Lagan is a Hindi word. Kar also they call it. Kar in Hindi. Kar. They call it Aikar, income tax. Aikar, income tax. Kar. Lagan in English. In English, what is Lagan? It's income tax. There was income tax at that time. Before the British, during the Mughal rule, you know history, little history you studied in life. Mughals rule India. Lodi dynasty was defeated by Babur. Then Mughal rule was established in India. Babur, Humayun, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Akbar, you know all that. I'll send my history textbook also, school history textbook. They used to levy something called Mahsool. Arabic word, Urdu word. Again, translates to tax only. Whatever name you call it, taxation, collection of tax by the government has always been there. Of course, we don't have to study. Sir, what was the income tax rate when Amir Khan paid Lagan? Nahi, sir. Sir, what was the Mahsool rate when Akbar Badshah was ruling the country? No, that is not relevant now. What we have to study is the Income Tax Act 1961, which got enacted in 1961 and came into force from 1462. Just like today, I asked you, well, Partnership Act came in which year? If you don't know 1932 or if you know 1930, it does not make any difference on the marks that you score in exam. Supposingly you don't know 1932, it is not going to affect your marks. But still people will make fun of you. No? Well, hey, you don't know Partnership Act 1932 also. You don't know Companies Act 2013 also. You don't know that. Likewise, in the coming years, people will ask you, Income Tax Act enacted in which year? You may or may not get marks in exam. Exam will never ask you this, which year. But still you should know. Income tax got enacted in which year? 1961. And what is the full name of the law? Income Tax Act 1961. And it extends to the whole of India. So, Kashmir to Kanyakumari, Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, income tax will be applicable to the entire country. Is that clear? Title and commencement. Section 2 under any law enacted in India. Not just in this law. Any law. What is section 2? Come on. I thought you will know this. Video hai kya? Yes. What is section 2 in every law? Some people have already typed in the chat box. Definitions. Such a big law. Such a big law. So many things that have been written in the law. Most of them have been defined in section. Mitro, most of them have been defined in section 2. Are you with me? Section 3 is something called previous year. Ignore this for the time being. Anyways, I am not here to teach you section after section. So this will be explained to you at a little later stage. A little later. But this will be explained to you. The meaning of previous year. You don't even write this. Don't write this line. Don't write. Ignore. But this much is clear. Section 1 is title and commencement and section 2 will give us definitions. Very good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Give this as many stars as you want. Section 4. Stars. About 100 to 120 hours of direct tax learning in CA intermediate, and about 180 to 200 hours of direct tax learning in CA final. Direct tax takes 2 full months, 3 hours every day, because 7 to 10 lectures. After that they have articleship. So about 200 hours, 70 lectures of 3 hours each. This section 4 will tell you what you are going to learn in income tax. What are the chapters that will be taught to you in income tax? What is your syllabus of income tax? Be a little patient. It's a very long sentence. I will divide that big sentence into small parts and explain that sentence to you part by part. Be a little patient. Section 4 says, income tax is payable. Obviously, think about it. What will happen? You will receive tax or pay tax? Stupid question. Who? No, I am talking about us. We will receive or pay? We will pay. So they say income tax is payable. Payable by whom? Receive, we all know. Who will receive? Government. We also know which government. Which government? Central government. We know that. We know that. But who will pay? Every person has to. Every person. Income tax has to be paid by whom? By every person. When do you have to pay? You have to pay your income tax in each assessment year. When do you have to pay income tax? In each assessment year. On what? This is a very easy question to answer. On what? Income tax you will pay on what? Obviously, on income. This is very simple to say. Income tax will be paid on what? Income tax will be paid on income only, no sir. But which income? Pay careful attention. It will be paid on something called the net taxable total income, very popularly known as NTTI, a very, very important concept in your career from today. On what amount? Net taxable total income. Income tax is payable by every person in each assessment year on the net taxable total income, obviously, which you have earned. But when have you earned? Earned during the previous year. Yes, I know you don't know the meaning. You don't know what is previous year. You don't know what is assessment year. But you know this much. Can you tell me this much? You have to pay tax when? In the assessment year. And income will come when? In the previous year. So if I ask you, what will be called the year of earning income? So what's your answer? Previous year. And what will be called the year of tax payment? Assessment year. That much is clearly visible right in front of you. I'll explain all these concepts. Don't worry. All these concepts. Income tax is payable by every person in each assessment year on the net taxable total income that you have earned during the previous year. Any student who has understood this sentence written, sentence is over. This is one sentence only. I have split into 5 parts. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, part 5. You can write the full sentence in one line also. This is one sentence only. Any student of this class who has understood this sentence that is written here. Nene, you are, Ashfiya, you are translating it. I didn't say ke translate from English to Hindi, nahi. My question is, you understood the statement. No one says understood, no? It is better that you don't say that you have understood, because if you have understood this statement, then after today, please don't attend any lecture. Because understanding this statement is my job for the next approximately 1 month. Approximately 1 month. For the next 1 month, what do I have to do with you? What do I have to do with you? This statement. I have to teach you how to calculate this income tax. You don't know what is the rate of, supposingly I have 100 rupees income, or 200 or 500 or 10,000. What is the rate of tax? 1%, 2%, 5%, 10%, 20, 30, 40. What is the percentage of tax? We all know that a portion of my income government will take away and I will not get it back. It's a direct tax. But what will be that portion? What will be that proportion? We have to learn the tax rates, calculation of tax. Yes? You have brains, little brains in your life, little brains, thala chor, little brains. How can you calculate tax if you don't first calculate which income? Just saying income is not enough. Now listen. I have explained to you the full story about exemption of agriculture, why and everything. Tell me one thing. If a farmer is earning income from farming, is that income? Yes, but that income is not included in net taxable total income, because it is called exempt income. The income on which they don't want tax, we call it exempt income. So how to calculate this net taxable total income? We have to learn that. There are 3 more things that we have to learn. The main 2 things are the calculation. What 2 calculations? Calculation of income and calculation of tax. Correct hai? But other than that, we also have to learn. When we say every person, who is a person? What is a person? Am I a person visible in front of you? Yes, you are also a person. But is that it? Is that over? Only you, me, all the people present in the classroom? No. We have to exactly understand what is the meaning of this person. This person has been defined. Section 2. Section 2 is definitions, no? Section 231, clause number 31 has defined this person for us. And of course, the other 2 small concepts. The year in which we earn income will be called what? Previous year. And once that year gets over, and then when we sit and calculate tax in the next year, so that next year will be called what? Assessment year. Of course, these are 2 small concepts. I have to explain that also. Once you understand, now see, this I still have time, about half an hour for today's lecture. This will get over today itself. Today itself. Okay. If I decide to continue with you and start doing, I need about 5-10 minutes to teach you the meaning of person. These 2 things I will be doing next together with you. Meaning of previous year and assessment year. 15-20 minutes, previous year, assessment year will also get over. I can finish in 2 minutes also, but if I want to make you perfect, that you remember it till your CA final, till your next birth, if you are still doing CA, So I'll take some time and explain. 15-20 minutes is good enough for that also. And the rest of your life and my life will be spent in learning these two things. First, two calculations, two things we have to calculate. Look at the name of the act. What is the name of the act? Income Tax Act 1961. If you observe the name of the act carefully, this will only make it clear what are the two things that you have to calculate. What are the two things? In the name of the act, clearly written the two things that you have to calculate. Calculate income, calculate tax. That is why we call it Income Tax Act. Calculate income, calculate tax. Calculate income, calculate tax. That is going to be the biggest concept that we have to learn. So we will learn calculation of income, and then I will teach you the rates of tax which are applicable in India to different assessors. Wait. What do you think should be calculated first? Income or tax? I have written number 4, number 5, you ignore. What does your brain tell you? What should be calculated first? Obviously, if tax is calculated on income, so we need to calculate first what? Once income is calculated, then we can move on to calculate tax. Correct? No. Till the time you are in a classroom, you are a student, calculation of income finished. On that income, calculate tax. Calculate income, calculate tax. Student life over, professional life started. Practicing chartered accountant with a big CA firm. So you will be having clients who want to do their tax filing from you. They will come and tell you, listen, they will come and tell you, Madam CA, Sir CA, CA Sir, CA Madam, this year I want to pay 5,000 rupees tax. This year I want to pay 5,000 rupees tax. Now calculate my income. So in real life, we have the tax amount pre-decided in mind. Accordingly, listen how it happens. Listen, I'll come back to this. Give me a minute. Okay. Whenever you do any kind of financial transaction in accounts, first that you do is make your journal entry. Bank account debit to sales account, purchase account debit to creditors account, correct? Then the journal entries are posted in the respective ledger, correct? In those ledgers we have personal account, real account, nominal account. We all know that personal accounts will go in the balance sheet. Real accounts also, maybe. Nominal accounts will be closed and sent to the profit and loss account. We will make something called trial balance. We will also make something called maybe your cash book or your purchase book, sales book. We call it the day book in accountancy. Cash book has got 3 columns, cash column, bank column, interest column. These are basic accounting terms. And from this, we make our final accounts. What are the components of our final accounts? What are the two things which are a part of final accounts? In short, P&L के अंदर I am merging. Trading P&L is one thing. So P&L account and balance sheet is final accounts. Correct? With the help of this data, final accounts, what profit we have earned, with the help of this, we will be able to calculate our net taxable total income. This is my profit. Whichever is taxable, include. Whichever is exempt, exclude. Correct or no? Taxable, supposingly my profit and loss account has got agriculture income. So don't take it. My profit and loss account has got business income. Then take it. With the help of P&L, we will be able to find out our entity I. And once we compute our entity I, what is our last thing that we calculate and finish the story for the year? Tax. Correct? This is how we proceed, no? Correct or no? Once you become a chartered accountant, life will proceed like hello, everyone with me? This is what a student does, and this is what a CA does. Client will come and say, sir, I want to pay 5,000 tax. Pay attention. Based on that, you find out on how much income 5,000 tax comes. So you compute the income. Based on that, you decide what profit you want to show in profit and loss account. Based on that, you make your trial balance, and last you pass journal entry. For example, I want to show 50,000 profit. Example I am taking 50,000 profit, and my P&L account is showing 60,000 profit. So what I will do? I will adjust this profit by passing a journal entry. Debit any expense, reduce the profit. Supposingly P&L account is showing only 40,000 profit, but I want to show 50. So pass a journal entry for sales. Sales in cash. Increase the balance of cash here and increase the balance of sales. Cash account debit to sales account. We as chartered accountants first compute tax and then we come to the journal entry. We go reverse. If you are a good student, you will learn it like this. A very good student. But if you want to be a good CA, you have to learn it like this. If you want to be a successful CA, you have to learn it like this. If you want to be a CA in demand, you have to learn it like this. I'll tell you one thing. Let this come at a later stage in your life. Right now you are a student. एक काम करो. First you become CA. ठीक है? First you become CA, then you become good CA. First become CA, and for becoming CA, you have to move in this order only. So we will compute our income and then we will compute our tax, which is why I have also given number 4 to income and number 5 tax rates. I will give you in the end. So basically that day when we learn this entire thing that we have written here in section 4, and this is a very, very important statement. Pay attention. Every lecture that I will come, first thing that I will do 9:30 is I will tell you guys to speak this sentence without looking in the book. Shout this sentence and speak this sentence without looking in the book. Income taxes payable. So we will learn tax rates by every person. We will learn what is the definition of person. Income will be earned in the previous year. Tax will be computed and paid in the assessment year. We will learn what is that. And on what? The most important thing. On the net taxable total income. Every morning you have to speak this line. Whether you take your medicine or you don't take your medicine, whether you eat your food or you don't eat your food, whether you have your cup of tea or you don't have your cup of tea. Whether you have time for your hobby or you don't have time. This sentence every morning you will have to speak. And one by one we will learn. I have already given the numbering. First what we will learn, second, third what we will learn, fourth, fifth what we will learn. Are we clear? And this, of course, this income computation is the maximum number of chapters. So if I have to just roughly introduce what are the chapters that I am going to teach with you and how every chapter in our book is related to the sentence. But I'll tell you that and I'll wind up person ka definition onwards I will teach from tomorrow. So actual teaching of this sentence I will start tomorrow, means Monday. Tomorrow is Sunday, so there will be no class. Actual teaching I will commence from Monday of this sentence. But before we wind up, just to give you an idea about what are the chapters. So right now we are doing chapter 1 basic concepts. In chapter 1 basic concepts, what are the 3 things that we will cover up from this sentence? 3 things will get covered here itself. Meaning of person will get covered in basic concepts and previous year assessment year will get covered in basic concepts. First chapter itself. Then Monday basic concepts will get over. Basic concepts will get over. Okay. Then we go to chapter 2, a very important chapter once you come to CA final, residential status, where people in India will be divided in 2 categories, resident and non-resident. We'll learn how it happens. Reason. Please pay attention. I am not teaching the chapter. I am only introducing the chapter. If you are a resident, you have to pay tax on world income. So if I am a resident of India, I have to pay tax on whatever I earn in India. If I earn any income I have got some students in Dubai, I have got some students in Nepal, wherever there are institute centers, no ICAI centers, in all those countries, India ka every district, but outside India also, I have students. All those incomes are taxable because I am resident. But if you are a non-resident, say a cricketer has come to India to play IPL, that is a non-resident. You have to pay tax on whatever you earn in India. Indian income. So if a cricketer plays cricket here and gets paid for playing in the IPL, you have to pay tax on that. Take an example. Take the name of any foreign cricketer, you know, any foreign sportsman, you know. Glenn Maxwell. Glenn Maxwell. He must be playing in Australia also, is an Australian cricketer. He does not have to pay tax on that. Whatever he earned in India, he has to pay only on that much. Which is why assessees are divided into resident and non-resident. So before we start learning computation of income and computation of tax, we should know that certain incomes are not taxable only. That's our chapter number 2, which we will start on Monday. Now, if you carefully observe, out of 5 things that we have learned, person previous year assessment year are getting over in chapter 1 basic concepts only. Residential status we are learning to decide which income will be taxable, which income will not be taxable. Then we are left with only 2 main concepts. What are the 2 concepts? Number 4 and number 5. Income and tax. Now pay attention. We have to compute our net taxable total income because this is the amount on which we pay tax. Yes. Our income will be divided in 2 categories. Category 1, on which we don't have to pay tax. Can I call it exempt income? Incomes which we have earned, but government does not want to pay. Government does not want us to pay tax on that. No tax to be paid on this. Give me an example. Give me an example. Agriculture. That's our chapter number 3. What is chapter 3 of our textbook? Our portion? Exempt incomes. And there are some incomes on which government wants tax. Yes, this is going to be divided into a very important thing that I am telling you today itself. 5 heads, 5 categories, 5 types of income. I'll name them, they are easy to understand. First head of income is called income from salary. So those who take up job, those who are in employment, can I say they will have income from salary? Then, if you have earned rental income, is it possible that you have given your house or office on rent? So there is an income called income from house property. Is it possible that you are doing your own business? You are not working for someone else. You have your own business. That is called profits and gains of business or profession. Is it possible that you are selling some of your assets? You've sold your asset. That is called capital gains. And anything which will not come in these categories will come in the last category called income from other sources, like etc. Anything which does not go anywhere else will come here. Ladies and gentlemen, wait, no need to write all this because it is go above your head. It is going to be a bouncer right now. So don't, this is the first lecture. We cannot do everything in the first lecture. Just this much I want to tell you. This is chapter number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Means can I say that this thing at point number 4, which calculation is this? I have still not reached point 5. Tax calculation I have not reached. I am still at which point? Income calculation. How many chapters of income calculation right now? 6. 5 which are taxable, 1 which is not taxable. Exempt income. Chapter 3 to 8. Wait, we are not done. After this, we have a chapter called clubbing of income. That's our chapter number 9. Short mein I am telling you what is this. Sometimes you have to pay tax on other people's income. Your income you have to pay tax. Other people's income also you have to pay tax. What is it called? Clubbing of income. Example I'll give you. If there is a minor child under 18, then income of minor child, parent has to pay tax. That's a rule in India. So we'll learn this chapter. Then there is a chapter called set off and carry forward of losses. Chapter number 10. What is this? Pay attention. Is it possible that a person has got two businesses? Is it possible? I sell furniture also, I sell electronics also. Simple numbers I will take in front of you, okay? Focus. Furniture business, I earn 5 lakh rupees profit. Possible? Electronic business, I have suffered 2 lakh rupees loss. Possible? So the net amount that I will offer to income tax will be 3 lakh rupees. How? Loss of electronic business 2 lakh will be adjusted against profit of furniture business 5 lakh. So 5 minus 2, what is the net amount? That will be my taxable income. 3 lakh rupees. And for this we have a chapter called set off and carry forward of losses. Which losses can be adjusted against which profits? Which losses cannot be adjusted? All that is given. That's our chapter number 10. We are still computing income. After you do this much, the income that you will get will be called gross total income. Let me write the full name. What is this called? Gross total income. And we have to pay tax on net total income. Net taxable total income. From this gross total income, we are again eligible from some deductions. We call it Chapter 6A of Income Tax Act. We get deductions. I'll give you example which everyone knows. When we pay our life insurance premium, no, that amount is reduced from our taxable income. When we pay our medical insurance premium, that amount is reduced. If you give any donation to charitable trust, you get tax benefit of that. Tax benefit means it is getting reduced, no, from the amount taxable. We call it deductions. Chapter number 11. And after we do this, we come to finally our net income. So ladies and gentlemen, we have to learn something called net taxable total income. Everyone, how many chapters only to learn this one thing, net taxable total income? First, exempt income. Then the 5 types of income. What is in income tax? What is it called? The 5 heads. 5 different categories. We call it 5 heads in technical language. So 6 chapters, clubbing 7, set off 8, deductions 9. We have to learn 9 chapters and only then we will get finished or done with what? Come on, tell me please. Calculation of income. Ladies and gentlemen, only income is done till now. 9 chapters to learn calculation of income. After income is finished, what is the last thing? Hello? Means listen. First chapter will cover person, previous year, assessment year. Second chapter, residential status, is only to decide foreign income, Indian income. Then 9 chapters to learn this calculation of total income. After income is done, now guess what is the last thing left? Calculation of tax. In chapter number 12, I will give you rates of tax in our country. What are the income tax rates? You cannot learn tax rates unless you first learn. Come on. Income. Chapter 12 will be tax rates. Tax rates. Okay. Then, along with that, there is another small concept called alternate minimum tax. Actually, it's a big concept and important concept in CA final. For intermediate students, it is applicable only little, not complete portion, but a little is applicable. So these two are basically your tax calculations, tax rates and alternate minimum tax. Okay. And then we have some general concepts called TDS, TCS, something called income tax return filing, which I will be covering in chapter number 14, 15, 16. I will be covering all of that. This together will complete your syllabus of direct tax. This is what I have to teach you as far as your portion of direct tax is concerned. These are the chapters, and with this introduction you have at least understood that maximum time is going to be consumed in learning which concept? Computation of taxable income, NTTI. 9 chapters are that only. 9 chapters are computation of taxable income. Everybody is clear about this? Okay, and now we will keep this objective in mind. Every morning when we start, what will we keep in our mind? This sentence we will say, and from this sentence today what we are learning, for example, Monday we will learn person previous year assessment year, and we might start residential status. Tuesday residential status will get over, exempt income will be started, means income calculation is started. Then one by one we will be doing salary, house, property, business. One by one we will be doing all the heads of income. We call them heads. This is an important concept. Again and again you will be asked, how many heads of income in India? 5 heads of income. We will learn them one by one. Clubbing, set off are again small topics. Deduction is also a very small chapter. They are all applicable in detail when it comes to CA final, and then we go to the tax rates. Okay. So from Monday onwards we will be focusing on this sentence so that we can study and learn our direct tax portion. Everybody is clear?